What's going on, sports fans? It's your boy Octavius here again. My second video this week. College football week 2. Let's jump right into it. I don't have much time, so I'm gonna try to do this in a timely manner if I can. But I'm gonna try to keep it mostly in the SEC and top 25 if I can. I live in Greenville, South Carolina, so I'm in the southeast. So those are the most teams I'm gonna get exposed to. A couple of ACC teams as well, but mostly SEC. But I mean, y'all can always let me know if y'all want me to do a little review on a team from another conference, whether it's Big Ten, Pac-12, Big 12, any of them, Conference USA. I'm down for whatever. But jumping into these first couple of games this week, I know there's a big one between the Clemson Tigers, who are probably 45 minutes down the road, and the Texas A&M Aggies. And last year, this game was a 2-point game. I think Kelly Bryant started the game. Then Trevor Lawrence came in about the second quarter, threw a huge bomb to T. Higgins, and so on and so forth. Kelly Bryant actually came back in the game later and drove them down the field twice, scored 2 touchdowns in 6 minutes. Trevor Lawrence came in and had a huge impact. Kind of struggled a little bit, but he was a freshman. He was still getting the rhythm of the offense. But this year, I think it may be a little different. I mean, Clemson is the number 1 team. They are undefeated, 16-game win streak dating back to last year. But I think this A&M team is different. And Clemson is the top dog right now. They have a huge target on their back. Anybody going into Death Valley right now wants to beat them. They want to upset them. They want to take them. They want to dethrone them. Of course, who doesn't want to dethrone the champ? So it's not going to be an easy task for A&M. But Jimbo Fisher is a great coach. He does things like this. Last year, he had them 2 points with 2 missed field goals from their kicker, not to mention, and the controversial fumble at the goal line. So we'll see how Trevor Lawrence comes out this game and plays, because against Georgia Tech, he looked a little iffy. It was Georgia Tech. I heard he struggled with them. But it was Georgia Tech, and he threw 2 interceptions and only had 168 yards. I know he probably didn't play the whole game. I didn't even watch any of it. But that's a little concerning, but I'm not sure how the A&M defense. I haven't got to watch the A&M defense. I know they have good recruiting coming in, great classes. I just know that Clemson offense is high-powered, playmakers everywhere. It's gonna be a hard, daunting task for A&M going into Death Valley. Play's gonna be rocking, but don't be surprised if A&M pulls off the upset. Sorry to all my Clemson alum, Clemson fans out there. But everybody wants to beat y'all right now. Going over to the SEC with my favorite team, the Florida Gators. 2 weeks ago, we played the Miami Hurricanes. There was some good and there was some bad. The defensive line, front 7, great. The front 7 was great. On the back end, it was a little iffy. I think we still have some work to do back there. But I think it's going to come along with Grantham. I love Ty Grantham. I love his schemes that he runs, all the blitzes. I love it. On the offensive side of the ball, I would have loved to see Perine get a little more touches. I think he had 10 carries for like 40 yards. I would like to see Perine more involved in the offense, along with Kadarius Toney. He needs more touches because he's a big play waiting to happen, as you saw on that screen pass that he took like 66 yards, I think it was. The receivers, I would like to see a little bit more mixed in the offense, more targets for sure. They got to get these guys the ball. Van Jefferson transferred from Ole Miss, and Trayvon Grimes, the transfer from Ohio State. Those guys, big frames, speed. I love everything about them. Talent. I love everything about it. I think they're going to be great NFL players. We got to get them the ball more. We just have to. We have to. But coming away from that game against Miami, I think we learned a lot. Miami is not a pushover. Everybody was like, "Oh, y'all are gonna beat them this bad." I was like, man, I don't know. Like, Miami had a great defense dating back to last year. So, and with Franks, I didn't think I talk about Franks. Franks, he did pretty good. He won us the game. Everybody's talking about his antics on the sideline and everything, but he got the W. He did have a couple turnovers, 2 picks, a fumble. Then we had four turnovers in total, which going forward, when we have that stretch against Auburn, LSU, Georgia, and even South Carolina in those 5 weeks, if you have 4 turnovers, man, we will not win those games. We can't do that. So to that game, we got UT Martin this week. I really want to see how much Franks is gonna progress and scan the field and read his progressions. He's getting better, in the Dan Mullen system. Every year the quarterbacks get better. I just want to see where I want to see it now against UT Martin, because we got SEC play starting after that, and it's time to bear down and get serious. And going forward, the defense, I think our front 7, man, they look great. 10 sacks. It was phenomenal. I liked watching the defense. It was good. We can go to Georgia has Murray State this week. Not really too concerned about that. I heard Georgia has some injuries. I think they'll still pull it out. Some more teams we could talk about. Alabama, they're playing New Mexico State. They probably will steamroll them. Not really worried about that. Auburn's playing Tulane. Anything can happen in college football. I just don't see that happening to those teams right now. The other big, huge game this weekend, LSU Tigers versus the Texas Longhorns. And both the quarterbacks, I guess I'm kind of iffy on, kind of a little suspicious about. But I think they're gonna get it done. I think Burrow's good. I think Ellinger's good. I think they have something to prove. And the LSU defense, they're always gonna be stout. Haven't really seen the Texas defense. I know the offense is pretty nice. They did beat Georgia in their bowl game to end the season last year. So all the LSU people just saying they're gonna beat Texas. They might whoop them. But I know Texas did beat Georgia, who was, everybody thought they should have been in the college football playoff, hands down. We're still going to see how Burrow does. I think when you challenge him as a passer, he gets out of rhythm. He starts to throw interceptions. So we'll see how that goes. Because I really haven't seen the Texas defense, and I don't know how they're going to play. There's some other big games this weekend, too, with the USC, Southern Cal playing Stanford. Stanford's actually ranked in the top 25. But USC, they're supposed to be back. They're off sanctions. So we'll see how that goes. My prediction, I haven't really seen either one of those teams play, so I don't really want to call it. California also plays Washington this weekend. Washington has Georgia's transfer, Jacob Eason, who he got injured and had to sit out a year. But he's back this year. I think he broke Washington's QB record for a debut. He had like 350 yards and like 4 or 5 touchdowns, I think. So that's huge. I'm very excited to see what Easton's going to do out west. Also, there's Oregon playing Nevada. Oregon coming off that tough loss against Auburn. I watched most of that game. Oregon looked great. They came out fast, like the old Oregon that we're used to seeing, fast, scoring. The defense was actually pretty good too, but Bo Nix and the Auburn Tigers ended up pulling that one out with like 9 seconds left, I think it was. So, but that's good. Oklahoma and Jalen Hurts, they playing South Dakota this week, so it's not. But Jalen Hurts, man, the game he had, nobody's had a game like that since Johnny Manziel back in 2012, which was huge. That was huge. I'm I'm glad Jalen got a spot out there in Oklahoma because he's gonna prove he's gonna show everybody why he probably should still be the Alabama quarterback. That man's on a mission this year, and I have no doubt in my mind he's gonna be up for the Heisman at the end of the year if he keeps playing like he's playing and stays healthy. It's gonna be dangerous. But that's just my take on a couple of games for the second week of college football. We could talk more next week once we get into the SEC play and the conference play and everything. I will also probably make a video for the NFL this week because NFL week 1 also is coming up. Fantasy team, I'll talk fantasy, I'll talk whatever. You guys give me suggestions what you think I should talk about. But I know I'm going to talk fantasy. I'm going to talk college at least every week. College football, fantasy football, NFL football. I'm going to try to talk about that every week. Every week. But y'all can always DM me, comment, leave me advice, leave me feedback. If I said anything wrong, let me know, correct me. I'm always up for correction, always up for criticism. Let me know. That's just a little bit of my intake on this week, college football week 2. Stay tuned for Sunday. I will probably be dropping something. I don't know if it'll be in the nighttime or the daytime or the morning time, but I will drop something about NFL and fantasy football. Thank y'all for tuning in.